G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi here, and I'm back with another video about being a man and going your own way. And there's a reason why I've been gone for the length of time that I have been. And it's as the description says below, turning 50, a bigger deal than what most guys realize. Yeah, man, the last couple of months, 2-3 months have been pretty amazing to say the least. In my previous video, I kind of alluded to what was going on, but I really truly wasn't being 100% honest with myself and also yourselves, the viewer, primarily because of the fact that I really didn't have a proper handle on what was happening inside of me. I really truly didn't understand what was going on, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video. This is a full disclosure deal in regards to men turning 50, because this shit is real. It's unbelievable. And the amazing thing is, I know a lot of men who are in their late 50s, 60s, 70s. I've been around a lot of men over the years, and not a single solitary male has told me what to expect when you hit 50. Because when you do get to 50, this shit's gonna happen. And the other reason why I'm doing this video is primarily because of the fact that there's going to be other guys out there who are going through this, or guys who have been through this. And as always, when you watch a video on some of these subjects, you're just like, thank God I wasn't the only one that went through this. Because what I'm starting to discover with this channel is that men just don't talk about what men go through, period. Because for some reason we're deemed pussies, crybabies, whatever you want to call it. You know, we're just not meant to share our feelings or our emotions or the shit that's going on inside of us. And the reality to that is it's complete and utter horseshit. And that's the reason why I'm continuing on with this channel, and I'm going to be doing more and more and more topics and subject matter in regards to just being a man and what goes on inside of us. Because, you know, there's a lot that happens. I mean, I'm leaving the whole female thing behind, the whole feminism thing. People can worry, other people can worry about that shit. I want to help men. That's it. Primary number one reason for this channel is to help you, the viewer, figure out what's going on with yourselves. So with that being said, turning 50, holy shit. I alluded to what was going on in my previous video, because my daughter is heading off to university, and I felt like there was this big empty hollow feeling inside of myself, and some people call it the empty nest syndrome. Well, here's the reality of the situation. My daughter has never lived with me. After the divorce, when she was 3-4 years of age, I mean, the most amount of time she's ever spent with me has been 2 days in a row. So I've had her in my life very, very little, okay? So it wasn't the empty nest syndrome. The best way for me to describe this after processing this information for the last number of months, last 3-4 months now, is it's literally like one switch got turned off and another switch got turned on. It was like once I turned 50, it just felt like my whole world just got turned around 180 degrees. And what happened was there was just this huge empty feeling inside of myself. Like everything that I'd done in life just hadn't counted, you know. And I processed everything. I processed all the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the ins, the outs, the wins, the losses, everything over these last few months. And what I started to realize was that, you know, us as men, we go out into this world and we are taught to do stuff for pretty much everybody else. You know, we work for a company, we get married, we have children, and we're always doing this stuff for other people, and we think we're doing it for ourselves. Okay, we think we're doing, the societal normal thing. And what happens is when we get to this age, we start to really look at our lives, because we hit 50. We hit a half century, 50 years. Being 50 years, or living on this planet for 50 years, is no joke. Okay? You only have to go back a short while in history, and we weren't making 50 years of age. Majority of the population, was dead by the time they got to 50. It was only the wealthy and the elite that were living beyond 50 years of age, because they weren't getting ground down into the dirt. I mean, before Henry Ford came along with the Ford Manufacturing Company, Henry Ford was the first company in the early 1900s to just set a solid 40-hour work week. Before Henry Ford did that, we were working 70, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. We were being driven like slaves. So it's only been in recent history, and with the advancements of modern medicine and everything like that, that we've actually been living beyond 50 years of age. So, we hit 50 years of age, and we're like, oh my God, this is serious shit. I've got another 30, 40 years ahead of me if I'm lucky. And with the advancements and everything, you're looking at what's ahead of you, and you're like, holy shit, what am I going to do? So anyway, what started to permeate out of this empty space inside of me was the stuff that I didn't accomplish when I was a child. Okay? And this is where the term midlife crisis comes from for men. Now, the irony is, women that go through the same thing, because women go through what they call, female menopause. And, if it's good enough to call it a midlife crisis for men, then it should be called a midlife crisis for frickin' females, okay? So, anyway, you'll start seeing guys, once they get to 50, 55, they start buying all the toys that they weren't able to have when they were a kid. They'll go off and buy the motocross bikes and start tearing through the desert here in California, and you'll start seeing them buying the Harley Davidson with all the leathers and everything and riding through the canyons in Malibu. Or you'll start seeing guys divorce their old ladies and leave the family behind and start chasing young pieces of ass. Or some dudes will, bounce off to the Philippines or Thailand or wherever and start, banging teenage girls. Some dudes bang teenage boys, whatever floats your fucking boat, But the reality of the situation is these guys end up doing everything that they weren't able to do when they were a kid. Another good example, I built a Camaro road race car, and the guy that brought that car from me, he was 53 years of age. He wanted to go racing. And it was really ironic, because literally about a month ago, he phoned me out of the blue. He's like, hey man, he's 63 years of age now, and he's like, I'm kind of over this car, it's one of those things, if I have an accident and I could really hurt myself, or if something goes wrong, I could really, really, hurt, do some damage to myself, and, seeing if you'd be interested in buying it back. It's just like, oh, let me think about that one. And the reason why I told him, let me think about that was I was processing this information, or I was processing these feelings. I was processing, everything that was going on inside of me, everything that had happened in my life from when I turned, Jesus Christ, just everything that's happened in the last 50 years. My ups, my downs, my ins, my outs, my wins, my losses, everything. And I was able to, thank God, I'm in a fortunate situation where I don't have to work as hard as what most people have to work. So I was able to knock my week back to about a 20-hour week. I was able to just really chill and meditate and focus on this emptiness inside of myself on top of everything else that I've done. Well, that was where the magic really started to happen. Because for me personally, I was able to start to fill that void with all the accomplishments that I've done. I've been very, very privileged to have a very, very full life up to 50 years of age. I've done a lot, and I was able to honor the successes in my life, and I was able to honor the losses. I was able to honor the happiness, and I was able to honor the hurt, because everything is a lesson. Everything that I've gone through, whether we call it a positive or a negative, it's all had an impact in my life. And I started to fill this void inside of myself with all these experiences. And I was able to thank them. I was able to honor them. I was able to give thanks to the people that had hurt me and also the people that have helped me. You know, I was able to process every little piece of information, or just about every little piece of information. And what came from that was just this amazing feeling of peace. Just this incredible feeling of overwhelming accomplishment, and being able to sit there and go, wow, what a freaking life. Because we don't give ourselves enough time just to stop for a minute and to look at just how incredible our lives really have been when we get to 50. You know, a lot of us still have businesses. A lot of us are still married. A lot of us, you know, have huge responsibilities. You know, a lot of us just have to keep on going. So we don't get to really process this information until we've actually lived the stuff that we didn't get to do when we were in our childhood. Just like the guy that brought my Camaro road race car. He's now in his early 60s, and he's finally, you know, talking to him. He's like, you know, Lawrence, he goes, I've really had an amazing life. This has been an incredible life. He's a grandfather now, and he is able to sit back, and he goes, you know, buying that car from you helped to complete my life. He goes, that car has brought me so much happiness and so much joy. He goes, you've made me a really, really, really happy man. So I'm going to head out there later this year, and I'm going to do a video about that car, and I will actually share that with you guys. And, you know, if Pete's down for it, we'll share some of the interaction with ourselves about how purchasing that car completed his life. And now in his early 60s, because he's gotten out of his system the stuff that he didn't get to do when he was a kid, he's now feeling complete. He's able to slow down and look at his life and go, wow, this is absolutely one of the most incredible experiences out. And that's why I wanted to do this video, to let you guys know, if you want to do this stuff that you didn't get to accomplish when you were a child, then do it. Because it's not a midlife crisis. It's not a midlife crisis in any way, shape, or form to complete what you want to do in life. And to hell with these stupid societal, you know, taglines or names that they give to stuff like a midlife crisis. You know, it's not a midlife crisis if you're wanting to complete your life. If you're wanting to have your life go full circle, where you can finally one day sit back and go, you know what? Wow, man, this is incredible. Because we cover a lot of ground. We don't give ourselves the respect. We don't give ourselves we don't honor ourselves. We just don't give ourselves credit for the huge amount of stuff that we do as men. And we really, really, truly do accomplish a hell of a lot. And here's the thing, you can't compare yourself to other men. You just have to focus on what your accomplishments are. Because for you as an individual, it doesn't matter if you've done this much or another person's done this much. This person that's done this much might have had a greater financial means or had the ability to do more. He might have been like me, where I got divorced at a younger age and I had no desire to get married again, so I was able to get going with the stuff that I wanted to do. You know, there's different journeys for every one of us on this planet, but the key thing is to honor what you want to do in life, so you can get to that point where you can, you know, you've accomplished what you need to accomplish. You've accomplished your soul's journey. You've accomplished whatever it is that you were put on this planet to accomplish. And for me, what I've come to realize is that because of the huge amount of experience that I've had, so one of the things that I want to do is I definitely want to be able to share this stuff with you guys. I definitely want to be able to help you, you know, take those necessary steps forward in life. And it's really interesting because you'll hear a lot of females out there where those that are still married, where, you know, they're seeing their husbands revert back to children. And it's like, yeah, because we got going in life doing everything that society told us to do, and then we've gotten to this point in our life where we're like, fuck, I've done all of this, but I've still got this other stuff that I need to take care of. And women need to embrace their husbands if they're married and understand that this is a natural part of their lives. You know, for the most part, the women are going to be going through menopause soon, and they are going to be wanting to accomplish all the shit that they didn't do when they were teenagers. But they don't call it a midlife crisis for women. Nope, not at all. They're empowered. They're becoming stronger women. They're becoming whatever it is. So I'm here to tell you guys, you the viewer, that you're not experiencing a midlife crisis. You're just having to finish up stuff that you weren't able to do when you were a kid. And if you want to do that, guess what? You, my friend, are now going to becoming an empowered man. So that's the truth of it. So, you know, that's the video. If it helps you guys out in any way, shape, or form, feel free to pound the like button, subscribe, and put your comments in the comments section below, because I'm definitely going to be switching this channel up and going to be wanting, you know, my desire is to do more to help you, the viewer. So until the next video, which will be very soon, have a great life.